G'day there and welcome to Dog Shadow Gaming, the channel where we live to game and game to live. As always, I'm Belf, and today we've got Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2. This is the next one in our series. Today we're looking at, our series looking at the online battle multiplayer factions that you can play. Talking a little bit about, we'll go into two of them specifically, as we've done with the last couple of episodes here. Going into two at a time, playing a campaign against the AI with each, doing a bit of an explain of how I think they're sort of geared to play, where I think their strengths and weaknesses are, and what I've found with the game. I've had probably, I got it on December 5th. It's currently in early beta access. December 5th, 2018. It launches officially on January 24th, 2019. There will be early beta all the way out there for those that have pre-ordered and bits and pieces. And so this is early beta, so there is some balancing issues that probably need to happen and a couple of bits and pieces. But this is where the game's at right now, and I just wanted to put out a couple of clips going through, as I said, the factions and how I found them to play. I've probably put about 35-40 hours into the game so far. Probably 40, yeah, actually probably more, probably 40 something hours into the game. And I've played it pretty spread across. I haven't spent like 20 hours on one faction. I've just constantly played a different faction every game. I've done a lot of one-on-one, 2v2s, and I've played a fair amount of just against the computer to really get a feel for them. So I feel like I've got a fairly decent grasp of the game at this point, so hopefully whatever I tell you, you might learn something. You might be able to say, hey, no, there's a better tactic for this, and leave it in the comments below. It's basically just sort of a little idea of, a little showcase of it. In our last episode we did the Nids and the Necrons. Today we're going to do the Orks and the Drukhari. So we'll start off with the Orks. I really like the Orcs. I think that it really nailed them on the head. There's a couple of little things I'd like to see come back from number one, but mainly just the big red button. I reckon that should be like on your dashboard, on your UI, and just press it and big red button. Orcs, 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 Orcs. However, the ships look really cool. The voice acting for it's really cool. The way they behave, the way they work, I really think they've nailed the Orcs on the head. I think they've done a really good job with them. So let's get in and we'll do them as a first faction. So, Orcs live for violence of war. Orcs live for the violence of war, for the ceaseless contest to prove themselves the strongest. Once an Orc war gets underway, there can be no hope of peace until every last green skin is slaughtered. Even then, they will soon return. Spores. Mushrooms. Giant green mushrooms. Orc ships are rusty, ramshackle and assembled from whatever parts the mech boy had to hand. Rather than any grand design, nonetheless they are every bit as potent as any ship used by other races. Orcs offer little threat at long range, but are festooned with heavy guns and grow increasingly dangerous as they close the distance. Moreover, the big red button offers the prospect of heavy ram damage to anyone foolish enough to be caught in their path. And that really describes the Orcs. Basically, they just want to get close to you. They're going to keep pounding you with every weapon they get. They're actually crews the closer they get, basically. And they want to ram you. They're very, very good at ramming. I would say they have some of the toughest ships. I think they are the toughest ships. I feel like they're way tougher than the Tyranids for ramming. I think they're even tougher than the Imperial Navy for ramming myself. They're really, really good, and they put out a lot of firepower. And their firepower is sort of 360. Their torpedoes are a little bit odd to do and it takes a bit of work, but they're just these giant floating rocks of death, and they fit the Orcs so well. They work only because the Orcs think they work. So that's the way the Orcs work. So today, what have we got? Let's go with these guys. So I've got this guy. What about the bloody axes? No. The death skulls. No, too pretty. Evil Sons. I really like this. This is awesome. Yeah, let's go Evil Sons. Definitely Evil Sons. Alright, so Evil Sons. We're gonna go the Evil Sons. Now, overload shields makes a ship, yeah, it's a shields, okay. Well, they move pretty slowly, they take a lot of fire, so this isn't a bad choice to be able to replane your shields. Plasma bomb, again, not too bad. Yes, I mean, again, they move slowly, so having this ability to know where your enemy is probably pretty good. I really like this. The critical assault chance of every ally orc ship on the battlefield is raised by 100% for 30 seconds. Really good. If you use that, if you click that before you do a couple of boarding assaults, that can be awesome. So we'll pick that one. Stasis Bomb, also really handy if you can get someone caught in it to try and catch them. This can be really, really handy too. And then they've got the Nova Cannon shot, which is kind of like the Mechanicus Nova Cannon, only it has this random roll effect. So you can place it just like a Nova Cannon, but then it has like a random RNG roll as to how many bombs it's going to drop. Could drop 1, could drop like 6, depends on the RNG roll. Can be a lot of fun to play with, especially since if you get someone pesky who's keeping it range from you. Sometimes this and this can be really fun together. The problem with war, even though it's really fun, especially if you're in amongst it, if you're like facing off against the Tyranids and you've got this, great, because they're gonna want to close with you, and when they do, they're gonna try to board you, but you're gonna get 100% assault chance for 30 seconds. So when they board you, board them, and it's a lot of damage. So this can be really, really good, but if you end up with somebody like the Adeptus Mechanicus, who's not going to come anywhere near you, the Chaos guys who are going to try and stay at range as much as humanly possible, any of these 3 guys, they're going to all, and even the Tau. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the 12 are going to do everything they can to avoid getting anywhere near you. They're going to bomb you from range. So that's over half of the classes are going to be hitting you from range. So this becomes very important to catch people, and this might never get used. You might just will not get close enough to use it. So sometimes that is a good combo. I don't know what these 2 are here. It'd be interesting once we unlock them. So bearing that in mind, something that I do like, that asteroid field, meh, who cares? Boarding action kills the last troop. So this is an interesting one. This is scavenge it fast. If a boarding action kills the last troop on board an enemy ship, the assaulting ship is healed by 10% of the destroyed ship's destroyed ship's remaining hull points. Right, so that's not too bad. Again, a little situational. So the only people who are going to want to attack you is possibly here. Here and here, like the rest are going to keep their distance from you. So you got 4 out of 7, you got 4 out of 12 chance that you're going to use it, and you got a 7 out of 12 chance that you're probably not going to get all the chance on it. This one here, range is increased by 4,000 for macro weapons, units for land units and land weapons. This applies to only the flagship. However, this can be effective, especially when you got a lot of people trying to run from you. Defense turrets, again, they're gonna, if you get these guys, these guys, these guys, these guys, these guys, or these guys, well, pretty much anyone actually, they're going to be throwing just as many like fighters and bombers at you as they can, and you move really slow. So this can be effective to just keep them off you. This reduces the big red button movement cooldown by 10%. Now this is, to me, is a must. This is this just speeds you up, it allows you to ram, catch people, it's like, and it applies to battleships, right? But it's a must, in my opinion, if you're taking battleships. Zoop Zaps. While in lock-on stance, all Zap attacks have 50% chance to bypass shields and holofields. I think this is really valuable. Basically, this can be used even if the bridge goes down. Custom shields increases the shield regeneration by place to all ships. Definitely a must. And then we have a look at the battleships here to see if we can get that, or apply to ships with lancers also. Interesting. So let's jump in now, and so the Orc Pirate, Bad Moons, Blood Axes, Death Skulls, Evil Suns, and then the Goths. I can't remember whether the Goths are... I can't remember if that's a made-up faction, or I can't remember. Anyone who knows their Orky lore, let me know on that one there. Alright, so let's jump in here. We'll have a look at our custom fleet here. Battle cruisers, so battleships here, so they get that big red button boost. Battleships, I'm assuming. Battle cruisers, battleships. So it must be these guys as well, I'm assuming. Heavy guns battery, and it has a angle of fire on the side. Mega zap cannon, so that's a zap cannon, so that gets that buff for the zap, so really useful. Guns and artillery, yeah, so 90 in front, 90 in front, sides, and then you get torpedoes, so it could be quite useful. Let's have another look. Mega zap cannon, gun battery, so you've got sides, front, heavy guns, weapons, sides, front, so there's a lot of front and a little bit of sides. These are pretty good. So brutal strike, these things can do a lot of damage when they get close. Good troop efficiency, so that's pretty good. Looted ship, damage inflicted to ship by the fire aboard effect increased by 100%, so that's not great. Ship is basic, minus 50% bravery, and Ork reactor. Yeah. Okay, we've got front, we've got launch bays, guns, front, and then torpedoes. The dead knot, guns, artillery, front, sides, front again, sorry, sides. Mega zap cannon artillery, so 90 in the front, and then there. So all these guys have the zap cannons. Let's go have a look at these guys here. They're just bristling guns, look at them. So launch bay, heavy guns battery, guns. So was it you? 6 launch bays, sides, front. Yeah. So mega cannon artillery. So all pretty good. We're gonna definitely go the big rock because I just love the big rock. I just love it. And then we've got another big rock here at 272. And this guy has, he is the big rock. Heavy guns battery, sides, front, torpedoes. So we're gonna get one of those. These guys are more like rocks than anything else. What else should we do? We will get... go a hammer stomper, and we got 800. Yeah, okay, so we could go. Got 843, which means we've got about just under 400. So, I mean, potentially we do something like. Guy has mega zap cannon, so he's going to get a bonus through shields for that. Zap cannon, he's getting a bonus through shields for that. He's not, so our flagship actually isn't. Okay, so this guy will. Yep, they all get a bonus, so we're getting use out of all of those. I'm gonna throw one of those in. Where are we at? Got 180 points, basically. Got 180 points, so let's... one of those, and we've got about 15 points. Not enough really to do much else. What I might do is get rid of that. Get one of those. 141, giving us 79 points. Too much. One of those, and we'll call it that. And we'll call it Big Red Button. Okay. Okay, so applies to battleships. Yeah. So some of our guys will get some use out of that, which is good. We'll get the shields, which is also good. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the shields and we'll take the zappers because most of our crew has that, and we'll take the shields. So we get some use out of this. Everybody gets use out of that. Almost everybody gets use out of that. So we get more value for using that, I think. Great. And let's get in. We're going to choose random and launch. Okay, and here we are, ready to rock and roll. Let's have a quick look at our rocks. Give me 1 second while I grab myself a drink here. Okay. I have been rehydrated. Okay. Now, let's have a look at the battlefield quickly. This is all out. It's lonesome, and they're going to be moving in here and down to here. So let's grab these two guys over here. Put our light scouts like that. And we'll call them Group 2. They're going to go up there. And our giant floating rocks will be going here. Like so. We call them Group 1. Now, we're going to rock them straight up here like this. Get them going.
What do you want?
And we're going to get Group 2 going.
Here we go.
Cool. Now, just remember, they don't necessarily have stealth, so we are red dots like they are up here, but they don't know what we are. But the instant we use this button, the big red button, they'll know exactly what we are. So, I mean, sometimes it's worth throwing these guys quickly to take this point, and sometimes it's not, because they don't know right now whether or not these are big, like battle cruisers or cruisers. They don't know they're scout ships at this point, so it's worth just not using that for now. Now, we want to head directly to majority. We've got no assault craft, do we? No. Look at that. Look at the torpedoes. How ridiculous is that shit? And they got boarding torpedoes with these guys too. Look at that. Wow. So it looks like we've got some stuff up here. There's 2 up here. I've got 2 up here. But that's interesting. I wonder what it is that we're playing against. Definitely won't be
the enemy has seized a strategic area.
Majority are here. Oops, maybe.
The enemy has seized a strategic area. You have seized a strategic area. You have seized a strategic area.
Yeah.
We're gonna move across and try and get
You want us over there?
hidden in here. So we got, look at all. Ooh, chaos. Excellent.
Enemy ship sighted!
Okay, so these guys are going to want to stay range with us as much as possible. We don't want to get moving.
Enemy ship sighted! Here we go! Move that junk!
Cool, alright.
You got it. Holding is what Orcs do best! You got it. Enemy ship sighted!
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
We stopped the enemy ship!
These guys, we got to race through back here.
Something!
And we're going to do the same here.
You want us over there? Mutaka!
Okay, and this is how absolutely devastating these guys can be.
Rolling boys did good, boss! You ain't the boss of me!
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Our escort went boom!
Okay, one of the escorts is gone.
Enemy ship sighted!
Caught him.
Move that junk!
We
You got it, boss!
okay, we need to get this guy.
Orcs is best!
Boarding torpedoes.
Enemy ship sighted!
Okay, what about you? Need to do that. Where's the flaggy?
Orcs, orcs, orcs!
No, not gonna get a chance to do it, I don't think.
The enemy is seizing one of your
For one.
strategic areas.
You got it!
Okay.
Faster, you grunts!
Turn around.
Ah! I can't, boss! Enemy ship sighted!
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points.
You got it, boss!
And so it's gonna stop in a second. Fire.
Ah! I can't, boss!
Bring it across. Brace for back and big red button.
What you want?
Pull him out. Excellent. Should you stay right there?
Orcs, orcs!
Keep moving. So they very lovingly came just towards us, which is silly. Like
You have seized a strategic
don't expect that to
area.
happen in hard mode. This is medium, and also don't expect that to happen
Yeah!
in any kind of actual multiplayer, because they will not do that and not lovingly come up
The
close to
fight is
Orcs to
over
ramp.
here!
But that's why we're playing medium, so that we can do that sort of stuff. I should have done fix rather than that.
Wade's ready!
You have accumulated 50% of strategic points.
Enemy 6 sighted! You want us over there? Here we go! Time to stop them! Enemy ship sighted! We's ready. The fight is over here!
Here we go.
Move that junk! You ain't a boss of me! Orcs is best!
Throw the knobs.
You got it, boss! Orcs, orcs, orcs! Yeah! Reloading! Blast the Eklons!
We don't have brace for impact, that's okay.
50% of strategic points.
Boss! We smashed up on the enemy ship! Orcs, orcs, orcs! We won! The fight is over here! Move that junk!
Cool. And that's that. With the Orcs, you've got to be really trying to like judge drift, basically. So you've really got to be, because they drift so slowly, you've got to be sort of turning constantly and moving to try and move in front. As you saw me, I was constantly trying to move in front so that I can engage them as they closed. So yeah, that's the Orcs in a nutshell. Lots of fun to play. They're not super difficult to play. In fact, I'd say they're probably the least micro intensive. And because they move so slowly, they slow the battle down because you've got so much armor and they move slowly. They slow the battle down. They're a little bit less micro intensive. The Necrons are also a little less micro intensive. And yeah. So they can be a really good one if you're first starting to play the game, especially with the bigger stuff that moves slowly like I had. They can be a lot of fun to play and a little less challenging if your micro skills aren't up to scratch. So really like them. I think they're really good. Would really love to see just a big red button on the UI just to keep it real orky. But outside of that, I think they nailed it. I don't think they need nerfing or anything. I think the balance is pretty good myself. That's a personal opinion. You might have a different one. If you do, or if you have some great specs that you like, or anything that you found about them, you just want to say Orcs, Orcs, Orcs. Go ahead. And it reminds me of, if you're an Aussie, then you know Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. So it reminds me of the Orcs Drukhari Aussie. Cool. Alright, so that's the Orcs. Let's move on to the Drukhari. Yeah, the Dark Eldar. The pirates. Right, so let's have a look. Striking from the dark depths of Khemora, the Drukhari enter the killing fields of real space in search of captives to slake their abominable desires and fuel the quest for immortality. Expect no mercy, for the Drukhari have none to offer. The Drukhari fleet is a coalition of swift, deadly raiders crammed with advanced technology that puts Imperial equipment to shame. Concealed by shadow fields, the Drukhari vessels ambush unsuspecting victims by unleashing barrages of lethally sophisticated weaponry and launching remorseless boarding parties before their target has a chance to react. So when you read that, They come across as, and I'll read it again, the Drukhari fleet is a collection of swift deadly raiders and crammed with like great technology effects. Okay, cool. Concealed by shadow fields. So this leads you straight up to think that they're very much a hit and run, real stealthy, stay out of range and pummel people sort of class. You know, this is your rogue class, for lack of a better word. Your stealth attack and should be really high DPS damage, but you know you have got to stealth up on them, sort of stuff. That's what they, and then they get in close and they kill all of a sudden. And I mean, they do kind of play that way. Unfortunately, at the moment, again, with only the one playing mode, it does make it very hard to use that particular tactic. They do, when they do hit, they don't have enough firepower to really do the job, and they're so weak that when you do get in close enough to maybe use some boarding actions or do something like that, again, if you're getting close, gonna kill you. Getting close, probably gonna smash you. Getting close, if they can touch you, they're gonna smash you. Although you can sit at range and screw with them. Any of these guys, you've lost all of your ability of movement on them anyway. Going to probably see you well before you get in close, and their boarding actions will stuff you up, and they will shoot you at range most of the time. Bomb the hell out of you from range. If you get anywhere near these guys, even though they're rubbish at the moment and need massive batching and probably the worst, no doubt the worst faction, still their boarding actions are going to pummel you and their weapons are going to pummel you, and you don't even want to get anywhere near these guys. So, like, yes, they're stealthy, but they're so weak that any damage, you just start getting pounded. And their stealth ability is really weird. For this particular game where you've got to sit and take points, you've got to actually sit still to take points. Their stealth works on, the more you're moving, it charges up your stealth fields, your cloaking technology, for lack of it, your shadow fields. That's what they're called, shadow fields. But you have to be moving in order to keep that going. As soon as you stop, it depletes and then disappears, and you're out of stealth. Once these guys are out of stealth, they're like tin cans. Like they're so weak. So you've got to be constantly moving with them. There's a lot of micro with these guys that don't put out a lot of firepower in my experience. They're not amazing. I'm sure there are really good players with them, and I have seen some guys that are pretty good and make some pretty cool maneuvers with them, but their stealth mechanic needs work. It's not as strong as it should be or could be, I think, at this point. Again, I'm not a master at playing these guys. There is no difference between these guys, the things yet, so it's all the same points for them. I just tend to go black hearts myself. We can do broken sigil if you like. Broken sigil reveal revel in discord and confusion that have brought terror to countless worlds, often for no better reason than it lies within their power to do so. Nonetheless, they are often considered predictable by their peers and disdained as such. Oh, interesting. Ynnari. It should come as no surprise that there are countless Ynnari amongst the denizens of Mora. Drukhari have most to gain from Slaanesha's destruction. For all of their kind, they walk closest to gluttonous grasp sheaths. Interesting. Cool. So it's not Iron Thorn. Through its ancestral power was broken in Asberdul Vex Rise. The power of the Iron Thorn remains a force to be reckoned with. Privately, its archons assert themselves as being of true blood, but are careful not to draw Vex merciful eye. Actually, we'll go these guys. Why not? Do we have anything extra? No, this will do. Yep. Okay, so that's my issue with them, but the second part of this, unleash the vessels ambush unsuspecting victims. You still get seen, right? In order to get close enough to get a barrage of lethally sophisticated weaponry and launch remorseless boarding parties, you still get seen. And their boarding parties, again, are not that strong that, like, the damage you take getting in close most of the time, it's just not worth it. You're getting pummeled. So they do have Shadow Field Overload, fully restores the Shadow Field of the ship, keeps it at maximum during 10 seconds. Can't be used while the ship is under the effect of Disruption Bomb. Yes, useful. Auger Probe launches a probe at designated location. The probe moves in a straight line. It takes blah blah blah. It's for 2 minutes. Okay, will be useful. Venom Shove self-holds a bomb to maximum distance of. The bomb explodes up to kills 4 troops on all ships within radius. So that's pretty useful if you're trying to just take out the troops on the Disruption Bomb, Stasis Bomb. Stasis Bomb I think is really good. Doesn't matter what you're fielding, doesn't matter what ratio fielding Stasis Bomb is excellent, I think. Like, it's just a really, really good way of checkmating people. If they're catching you, you can throw it behind you. They've got to move around it or go through it and get caught in it. For a largely sort of maneuverable sort of race, this is a good thing. Could be good. This is good as well. So let's go with Stasis Field. Actually, we won't go with Stasis Field. We'll go with the two they've got. So we'll do Venom Shard and we'll do the cloaking technology, right? Now, we've got polarized fields, damage caused by asteroid fields, minefields, spore fields, and nullified. Now, these guys could actually be useful because if you go into an asteroid field or a spore field, you're hidden. So having no damage while you hide in there, cool. But if you're in a points battle, so it's basically like it's like a ticking clock. If you're not killing the enemy, you need to be taking points, right? Take points with Drukhari, you've got to stop. To stop, you're visible again. So it's kind of, you know what I mean? Like hiding in asteroid fields and all the rest of it, although useful for these guys, not as useful as it could be, yeah? Void Predator, the ship is in a gas scale or asteroid field, the enemy micro weapons are 20% less effective, basically. Kin crude batteries, while reload stands, the fire rate of star cannons, las cannons, and scythe missiles increased by 2% every second to a maximum of 50%. This bonus is lost if the ship stops firing for 1 second or fired at another target. Applies to fleet line ships. Applies to fleet line ships. This is all ships. Applies to the flagship. Ship weapon range is increased. Which call applies to ships with impaler squadrons. So the critical assault chance of the impalers is increased by 10%. Again, okay, cool. But do you want to get that close? That's all I'm saying. Yeah, anyway. Splinter torpedoes. When a ship is hit by a splinter torpedo, its speed and rotation speeds are reduced to 0 for 5 seconds. Applies to fleet Drukhari ships with torpedo launchers. Ramming blade. Ramming damage is increased by 50%. Applies to fleet Drukhari line ships. Cool. So let's have a look at, before we choose those, let's have a look at the fleet here, shall we? Okay, so the big boy is this one here. He's 420, Iron Thorn, right? Let's have a look at Iron Thorn. What has he got for us? Okay, so he's got Phantom Lance Artillery. So this is front mounted, so 90 degrees, so you have to be front on to use it. It does have 100% damage, reduces the target's armor to 25. The weapon damage is increased by 100% when the ship is in reload stance. So again, reload, you know, we're playing with reload twice now, so that's pretty good. But I think reload was only for line ships, so scythe missiles, these are frontal again, heavy scythe missiles, and then you've got, so this thing has to be pointed at its target, like, and the problem with being pointed at your target is you're not moving, you're stationary. And once you get to a certain range, that's it, right? What's the range? So range is 9,000 units, 9,000 units, 9,000 units. So again, you're front on with them, you're very close to them, so you're taking fire while you're doing it, yeah? Not great. As soon as you get out of that front arc, which means you've got limited attack windows with this, so it's not that great. It's really not that great. And you've got one launch bay. Not that great. Let's go and have a look at the obsidian rows. So again, frontal arc, scythe missile, heavy scythe missile artillery, frontal arc, and then frontal arc. So again, and this one has no launch bay. So I mean, you've got propulsion, you've got shadow field, which replaces the regular shield. The shadow field isn't affected by damage. The gauge fills up if the ship's speed is over 90%, and unload if the speed is under 50%. As long as the shadow field gauge is filled, the ship is in stealth. Yeah, cool, whatever. Here's the problem. Frontal, 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 frontal. So you can't keep moving. If these were side guns and you could keep moving, then you could stay stealth, but you can't. You've got to stop. Well, you only got a limited amount, then you got to like turn. So you can sort of shoot, 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 then turn, shoot, 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 turn. But again, 9,000 meters is not a lot. Already gone that one. Let's have a look at this one. Yep, front, 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 front. Yep. Let's have a look at the good troop efficiency. So that's pretty good. It's not amazing. Slave taker. The ship replaces one of its lost troops each time it turns on enemy ships into a drifting hulk in the limit of the heavy casualty troops. So yeah, I mean, you're trying to turn it into a Hulk, but yeah, Mimic engine, the ship can be deployed with an extended deployment zone. Yeah, so there's a little bit, you get like an inch at the start of the battle for this guy. Frenzy, while the ship is in the no casualties troop step, the critical chance of its assault actions is raised by 10. Yeah, okay. Void species, the ship is immune to plasma storms and solar eruptions. Okay, cool. Independent, loss of bravery, Sheffield, blah blah blah. Yeah, cool. So this one's exactly the same. The only difference is it's got more missiles. You've got torpedo launchers here. But again, no side, nothing on the side. This is all front. You've got some launch base here. Okay, so now we've actually got what is this? Launch bay. The squadron can be used to assault enemy ships or regain control of allied drifting hulks. While moving to their destination, they open fire enemy squadrons, torpedoes within their range. When reaching an enemy ship, each boat deals troop damage, ignoring shadow field. So it's really, again, it's kind of like the Tyrannies. You're aiming at trying to turn these things into drifting hulks. Yeah. So I mean that's interesting. Again. So all front again. Got launch base here. Okay. Cool. So the only one to tell you what we'll do. We'll try to go for basically taking out their troops, a bit like we did with Tyranids, just raiding them and taking their troops out. We will use the aircraft, so we'll try and use aircraft and launch them as much as we can. We'll take one of these guys, we'll take the big guy as our flag. We'll take another one of these. This was the witch cult one, wasn't it? Take one of those. Take one of those. What do we got? 104 points left, yeah? So we can go two of these. Oh, we're at 198 points. So we've got launch base for every one of these. We're going to stick and move. We're going to keep moving, and we're going to just keep launching shit, firing at them, and they keep moving. It's a lot of micro, so we'll see how we go at this. We'll call it Val's Dark Blade. Excellent. All right, let's save it and keep going. Bellstark Blade. Now, Shadow Fields, are the Venom Bomb. So this one takes out troops. So again, we're looking to try and take troops as much as we can. The Shadow Field will keep us cloaked, so this is pretty good. We could go Stasis Bomb to hold troops. Disruption Bomb, Television Bomb, close off. Nullifies all ships, whole fields, shadow fields, blah 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 blah. They're doing as well. Necro. Okay, well, I think we'll keep these two here for this. We are going to use I'm going to use ramming. We're going to use... We're going to throw that one on. And... we'll put on the gas... I don't really want to. Let's throw that one on anyway. Yep, cool. Yes, and we'll launch it up. Go random. Let's really hope we don't get anything like this. Anything else I can pretty much deal with, but these guys just pound you from range. And they have so many little ships that constantly ping you, so it's really hard to get away from. I fought I think it was Chinese guy, and he was using them, and he was really good. He He spread out all his little troops, and although I could take them out fairly quickly, they pinged me, so I couldn't stay hidden from him. And he just basically tracked me down. I love the look of these guys, and I feel like if you could just find the best way to use them, they would be loads of fun to play. I think a really good player with these guys, look at that, it just looks great, doesn't it? They're the best of the Eldar ships, look-wise, I think. They look amazing. I think that if you became really good with these guys, you could really do some damage. Like you could really just play with people. The problem is again, this is a points match, and sometimes that can be a real pain in the bum. I kind of feel like he's gonna come down here and through this. So we could probably hit this really quickly and then just head up here, to be fair. But you know what we'll do is we'll just put our main fleet here. We won't directly do much just yet. We'll just put you guys here. So these guys here. So we can then come back and hit this. Basically what you want with these guys is you don't want a frontal head-on engagement. You can avoid it. Raising bombers, torpedoes, slaver bring assault boats, intercept squadrons. These guys are coming back. Why are they coming back?
Raptors, begin terror raid!
Yep.
How may I serve?
You have seized a strategic area.
Okay, I'm gonna put them all together now. So as you can see here, you've got your hollow cloaks or your shadow cloaks here, right? And as long as you are moving, they guys are stealth. And this, like, you have to get fairly close to them in order to see them, which is pretty cool. The only problem
The enemy has seized a strategic
is
area.
that it kind of, like, you're gonna see it here. I have to stop to take this point. As soon as I stop, I'm open to radars.
How may I serve? Agree. Engines to overload!
Okay, looks like we got Mechanicus.
I see slaves to be claimed! We shall flay them all! With all speed!
And that's his main load of ships, and so he's just Mechanicus? Yeah, Mechanicus. Yeah, so he's going to be just throwing bombs around everywhere. That's okay, because we're stealth for the most part, so
aids the cabal?
as soon as we stop here, he's going to have access to throwing bombs at us again, right? Here we go, see? He's only guessing where I am.
The cabal? The cabal is all!
The enemy has seized
This is
a
okay, use up
strategic
your bombs,
area.
use up your notice, because they are...
If it please you,
doesn't have infinite amount of them, that's for sure.
You have seized a strategic
They
area.
all of a sudden have been identified.
we move!
And they do seize pretty quickly. As you can see.
Agreed! Slave bringers, begin your hunt! I see slaves to be claimed. They will scream our praises. What is your wish?
Move.
Come! Play
mean? There's a huge amount of micro if you want to actually use it. And now I'm having to stop. Yeah.
We shall flay them all. I cannot. What aids the cabal? Action complete. Slaves taken. Our rivals are destroyed. At the engines scream.
See? Already lost a ton. And we haven't even dropped one of them yet. It's so weak. Now, I'm not a good player. I'm going to say that straight up. I'm really not very good at use this.
How may I serve?
But we've stopped again. We're identified. And because so many frackers have so many of these little ships all the time, it really nullifies their stealth ability. It needs a lot of work. It's a great concept, but I don't know how it works practically.
What
to be
is
honest
your
with you.
wish? What aids the cabal? Agreed. Engines to overload! We bring death.
Okay, so that guy.
We shall flay them all.
I'm not moving that fast, to be fair, that I can, I just keep zipping around taking points.
Slaves to be claimed.
Again, we took the asteroid ability, and there's one asteroid field here. So again, how useful is it? You know what I mean? Like, there's one asteroid field in the entire map.
Loose the razor wings.
And so we're sitting here, we're trying to take this plane, and we've lost all of our stealth ability. It's all gone.
How may I serve?
I mean, perhaps you guys know
The
a better
enemy
way
is
of playing them.
seizing one of your
I'm not
strategic
really
areas.
sure. That was 9,000, so we should be setting that to about that. About 6
You have seized a strategic area.
kilometers.
Loose the razor wings.
Cool, okay.
The cabal is all. Fear our onset. What is your wish?
So we've yet to, we've hulked one, we've taken a couple of little guys. We have a big guy coming in here, and he can see us.
You have
Or at least you can
accumulated
guess
25%
where
of
we are, 'cause we're
strategic
taking a
points.
point.
The
This-
enemy has seized
again,
a strategic area.
Not a lot you can do. Now he's shooting me because I can't, unless I'm facing him,
If it please you.
there's not a lot I can do.
Slave bringers, begin your hunt. How may I serve?
You have seized a strategic
What we're going to do here is we're going to get in behind him.
We move. Loose the razor wings.
We're going to use our low reload stance.
What aids the cabal?
Now we're in stealth right now, right?
If it please you.
There we go, reload.
For new strikes.
Now we're getting in from the rear, and this is where the Eldar do come in. Their maneuverability allows them to get behind arcs. You can't do anything right now because I'm sitting right behind him. And I am putting some damage because I'm hitting right from the rear. Right.
Razor wings.
His shields are down, so we're going to teleport on.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas. The enemy has accumulated 50% of strategic points.
Okay, we can move faster than he can at this point. He might think, well, you can ram him, right? But no, these craft are so weak, ramming is almost pointless.
Cabal is on! We move! We shall flay them all!
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
What aids the Cabal? Loose the razor wings! I see slaves to be
Okay,
killed!
rain coming.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
We've had 3 ships hitting from the rear the whole time. Right.
Loose the razor wings!
We've done a fair amount of damage. Now we're gonna have to
Engines scream!
absolutely tear off to get out of here because they're closing in on us.
Their torment is our delight! How may I serve?
Okay, we're gonna turn around.
With all speed! Agreed!
We've got
The
stealth.
enemy has seized a strategic area.
Raptors, begin terror raid! Hull! Failing! Loose the razor wings! What is your wish? The Cabal is all!
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
Okay, we're getting.
We bring death!
We need to get out of here because we're just not going to fight. We're not going to be able to win a straight up fight with them. This guy's almost gone. He's almost gone. My main ship here is okay, but
Loose the razor wings! What aids the Cabal?
The enemy has seized a strategic area. The enemy has accumulated 75% of strategic points.
What is your wish? We shall slay them all! Agreed! What is your wish? Something better! We shall slay them all!
You have accumulated 50% of strategic points.
I see slaves to be claimed!
lost one. There you go.
What aids the Cabal?
Too close.
Engines to overload! Raiding velocity! We shall slay them all!
Okay, we're going to want to
We
move
bring death!
to the outside here. He's got no house, so he's useless to me now as a fighter. Best he can do is take points. This guy, as soon as he stops, is going to be under attack. So as I said, I'm not really sure the best way to play. I suspect that if you were really good at him and you have excellent micro, because my micro, yeah, so he's 1 off point. So I couldn't circle him. I couldn't sort of shadow and dodge and thing, and you didn't have firepower to actually take anything out. This is why I find them very frustrating. I think they really do need some balancing. It could also be that it's just this specific type of battle scenario that they're just totally not good for. But I really feel they need some balancing, some pretty massive balancing. Now again, if you've had some really good success with them, if you think they're really good, if there's some great parts that or some great strategies that you've come up with, please do let me know in the comments below, because I would love to hear you know, an effective way of using these guys. But right now I think that they're really kind of gimped, and I think they're not much better honestly than the Adeptus Astartes at this point. I think they need a lot of work on these guys to balance them out. I love the mechanic and I think it's really cool. I just think it needs more work. Either their speed needs to be increased, their capping ability needs to be increased, or something like that. To make them a little bit more viable. I think they need a little bit more toughness. I mean, I know they're meant to be super delicate, so it's not as though that the creators haven't gone in the right direction as far as the lore is concerned. It's just that it's not balancing properly, I don't feel. And that's my opinion, of course, so if you feel differently, then go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Okay, so that was Orcs and the Drukhari. Thank you very much for watching. Again, if you have any questions, hints, tips, or anything for anybody watching, please leave it in the comments below. I'll endeavor to answer it or get back to you. Or it could just be a tip for other people how to use it as well, for myself. Outside of that, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then as always, guys, please do hit the little thumbs up down there. It costs you nothing. It takes you about a second, and it really helps the channel out for you to do it. So please do make the effort and do that if you've enjoyed the content. If you haven't enjoyed the content, then fair enough, whatever, leave a thumbs down, or better yet again, leave a comment, let me know what you liked or didn't like. If you're really enjoying it and you love anything to do with Warhammer, this channel plays everything to do with Warhammer. My Twitch stream Warhammer games like Vermintide 2, Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2, Mordheim, Mechanicus 40k, Space Hulk Deathwing with some mates, Vermintide with mates. What else do we do? We will be doing the new Necromunda Underhive when that comes out in New Year. Definitely doing some Chaos Bane when that comes out in the New Year. Obviously lots of this as well. That's all being streamed on Twitch most nights. At around 8 o'clock Australian time, around sort of 4 to 5 o'clock Southeastern time. You know, you can work it out from there, I suppose. You can also catch me on BitChute, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Minds. All at Dog Shadow Gaming. You can check us out on those platforms if you like. And yeah, as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. And never forget, the Emperor protects. See you later, guys. Bye.